going to talk about Beyonce. Beyonce. The Queen Bee, not Lil' Kim. The QB. We talking about Beyonce. Okay? Here's the thing. When I was younger, they literally prepped us. They prepped us to become international superstars because we had to learn the choreography to Beyonce's dances. We had to know everything that she did in her videos. We had to understand the level of perfection that she was achieving. Okay? We had to know how to walk like Beyonce. We had to know how to sing like Beyonce. We had to know how to be Beyonce, period. And we were young girls. Like, I was 4 years old. I remember being 4 years old, standing in front of the television, mimicking Beyonce in her Crazy in Love video when she had on the white beater and the shorts and the red heels. I was literally walking like her, dancing like her. And I'm just like, I was a little girl. And when I think about today, the fact that I have these flashes sometimes of my potential to be a superstar just because of how much conditioning that I went through as a little girl. And I don't even just mean that we were learning the choreography. It was like, if I didn't move my body in the right way, if I was not winding my hips in the right way, okay? If I was not walking with enough attitude, I had to do it again because I had to be right. I had to have the correct energy. And I think it just shows in my personality today. And I think it also reflects in my approach to pursuing that dream of becoming a superstar. And sometimes I feel like it's beyond me. I don't even always feel like it's mine, like it's coming from me. I think it feels more like something that I'm channeling. Like an external energy that I'm channeling rather than something that's coming from within. And I always try to run away from it because I think about the fact that I didn't really get to be a little girl because there was so much conditioning going on at that time in my life, preparing to be not even just a superstar, but a model. Just preparing to be a performer, an entertainer. I feel like stripped a lot of my childhood and what I perceived as fun. In the moments where we maybe should have been playing just games and running outside, we were inside learning choreography to Beyonce. Like, that's so funny. But you know what? It reflects in my work ethic. And just recently I was just thinking about, like, what is it about Beyonce? What is it about Beyonce that I learned, right? Like, what is it that I gained from all those years kind of being forced to grow up to be just like her? Like, what did I learn? What did I get? Honestly, what I feel like Beyonce is the most supreme reflection of, for me in my life, is the power that I have to be exactly who I believe I'm meant to be. And the fact that there is nobody outside of myself who can stop me from becoming who I'm meant to be. I have to believe it. I have to believe it more than anybody else. Because I feel like Beyonce believes in herself the most. And it shows. it shows everybody else in the world, their belief in Beyonce is only a reflection of her own belief. The success of Beyonce is only a reflection of her own belief. And the truth is, it's self-fulfilling. Like, I feel like that's also what I learned from Beyonce, because I think she's a self-fulfilling prophet. And I think once you believe in the prophecy, I don't even think it's just about belief. I just think once you start to feed the idea, the belief will come. Then it'll turn from just knowledge to understanding. And I feel like once you understand that there is somebody who you are meant to be, regardless of what's going on around you, there's nothing that can stop you. There's no one and no thing that can stop you. And that is Beyonce. That is Beyonce. And I think Beyonce also, to me, reflects professionalism and how far professionalism can take you. When you take your work seriously, everybody else takes it seriously. And they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice because you're taking it seriously. You know what I mean? And it's just a reflection of the power that the power of your own mind, the power of how you think about you. And I feel like that is also the difference between the dream now and the dream when I was a little girl. The dream was being fed to me when I was a little girl. And the way that it was fed to me was that I was growing up to become Beyonce. Which is different from the reality of the dream, which is that I'm actually growing up to pursue the same success as Beyonce. Not to be Beyonce. But when you're conditioned to believe that you have to be Beyonce, it does something to your self-confidence, because you realize that you're not fucking Beyonce. I'm sorry, I don't even curse, but it's just how I feel right now. And I think it's trying to overcome this idea that you have to be Beyonce. Just overcoming that. The fact that that's something that is an obstacle on the journey to success is just like, before I can even get to the dream, I have to figure out my identity. Because trying to be Beyonce doesn't work. There's already a Beyonce. And so I think that that's why it was so important that I took the time to think about, okay, what did I get out of it though? Like, what did it teach me in the long run? It taught me my power. It taught me my potential. What I have the potential to be. What I have the potential to accomplish is reflected in Beyonce and her work. But that doesn't mean I need to strive to have this same success as Beyonce, or to try to be Beyonce, or make the same music as Beyonce, because that just ends up feeling disingenuous. I mean, in the long run, if I become a superstar, and all those years and time spent as a little girl learning how to be like Beyonce pays off. Man. Man. Whoa. What a story. What a story. What a story. If I actually make use of all of that time in my childhood. Oh my goodness. But you know what? I was recently talking to a friend and he was asking me about Renaissance. And I think just because of where I am, the fact that I'm in, like how I said before, I'm like channeling this dream of becoming a superstar, right? And yes, I'm going to call it a superstar. It may sound superficial, but ultimately that's what it is. The dream. The seed that was planted in my head as a little girl was becoming a superstar. So the fact that I'm on this journey, I find that there's some things I have to stay away from or like step back from. And that I find that I'm no longer really following Beyonce's career right now. And honestly, sometimes it makes me a little bit insecure that I'm not tuned in as much as I was when I was younger. But when I was talking to my friend and he had asked me about Renaissance, and I was like, yeah, no, nah, I'm still in a different era. And he's like, oh, okay. So, like, what album are we talking about? Like, what era are you still in? Like, when was the last time you was really... And I told him, I was like, you know what? Self-titled album. That was the first answer that came to me. I'm still there. I'm still there because I think that was when, for me, that was a peak. A peak for me in my head. I feel like after that, after the self-titled album, Beyonce is Beyonce, you know what I mean? The success is just gonna continuously grow. We know this. Excuse me. And I felt like right now she's able to be artistically creative and she's able to do whatever the heck she wants, which is different, right? Which is different from when success, like her being successful, is the point, the intention, right? And that's not saying that she didn't have any creative control or she wasn't doing what she wanted to do in her previous albums. I'm just saying that it was different. The work was different because the motivation was different, right? She's Beyonce, and we know she's Beyonce, but I'm saying that the energy is different. And so for me, I can't be studying who she is right now because right now she has had it all. So her music is from a different point in her career, in her journey. I'm still tuning in to the point in her career, in her journey where she was successful, but it was still more like her knowing that she has more to bring to the surface. And I feel like self-titled album was the moment for me where Beyonce became a sentence. Like, it became a sentence. That right there is success. And I feel like until I've reached that point, in my career, I have to be focused. I gotta focus. I gotta pay attention to, like, the method. I gotta pay attention to the intention, the journey. If I try to do what she's doing right now, it's just, it's not going to be the same. And I find that I'm most inspired right now by her music then. And I think it's just also because of my age. I'm 22 years old, and I have a lot of talents and I have a lot of gifts, and I'm still learning how to channel my energy, as I've been saying this entire time. And I feel it's one of those things where I would rather be trapped inside of an era of an artist than to keep up with them today, because I feel that me continuously observing and studying that era of them will help me realize what they realized at that point in their journey, and it'll help me achieve the success and achieve the goals and the outcomes that I intend. But it takes time. You have to actually be willing to be still and learn and listen and meditate. And I think I'm just still meditating on the self-titled album. I'm still meditating on B-Day. I'm still meditating on 4. I'm still meditating on it. Renaissance is a whole different lifetime. I mean, that's just true to its nature. It's the name Renaissance. I'm still focused on the basics. I want to know the foundation before I get to where she is right now, which is at the top. She's at the top because she's worked there. She's earned that. She can be there, and y'all can be there with her. But while y'all are paying attention to what she's doing at the top, I'm over here in the dirt. I'm over here in the dirt. I'm building. I'm figuring out the best way to keep and maintain a sound structure. I'm focused on something different. I got other priorities, and I feel like it's okay. Sometimes it makes me a little bit out of the loop, but I'm working, I'm working in my own way. I'm prioritizing, and sometimes you just gotta not know what's going on when you got priorities. I think it's just a part of maturing, a part of growth, part of getting older. Not even just older, more like a part of actually making use of wisdom. And I think that's where that's a lot of what I am gaining from being okay with being stuck in the before Renaissance era. You know what I mean? It's just a sacrifice. I feel like it's a sacrifice that as an artist, I have to make sometimes, not being up to date because I'm just too busy perfecting my time, my era. But I just feel like B-Day, we don't have that music anymore. And that's what's so beautiful about it. And I'm not just saying from Beyonce. I just mean period. There's no music that will be released in the future that will be what Beyonce created when she was in her B-Day phase. Come on. When she gave us Sasha Fierce. Come on. Y'all want to talk about work ethic? I don't need Renaissance right now. I'll catch up to Renaissance when I'm in my Renaissance era. Hear me out. Check me out. When I'm in my Renaissance era, I'll catch up to y'all. Right now, I'm in my self-titled era. I'm in my B-Day era. I'm in my 4 era. I'm giving you big Sasha Fierce energy right now, baby. Okay. Okay. So that's my little spiel. That's my little like Beyonce rant. Okay.